I get it. I understand WrestleMania 41 is only a few days away and you were worried about some of the outcomes, some of the results, because you think it's going to upend WWE coming out the other side. But actually, when you do break it down, a lot of matches could go either way. But here's what you have deemed to be the worst results. The first one, of course, is Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton. I know about this because people yell at me all the time. They yelled at me after my predictions the other day. I want to make out, as I said in that video, there is an asterisk to all this now because the build has been so wibbly-wobbly, I don't really know what the best thing to do is. Like before, I was like, Charlotte Flair wins match 1, Tiffany wins match 2, Tiffany wins match 3. We do a proper coronation ceremony for her when she does win the championship back, which could be 2 or 3. You can make the storyline fit, and we go from there. But after listening to your feedback and after trying to be an open-eared bald guy, it certainly sounds like one of the worst results, if not the worst result we could get at WrestleMania 41, is Charlotte Flair winning. Now, my worry about talking about this, and I will get into it, is I think some people move away from the character and start talking about the human being of Ashley Flair. I think that's her real name. I don't know. And I don't think we should do that, right? We should shift that to one side. I'm not saying that you can't say maybe something is happening in her personal life that is affecting her professional career, but I don't like the insults that are being thrown around. You can say, oh, Simon, you're such a baby, you're such a pathetic Paul. That's fine, whatever. That's just how I feel about things. And I always like to be honest and I always like to be transparent. But again, focusing on the character and focusing on the legacy, from day one, it's always kind of felt to some people like Charlotte Flair had the big 17 put on her head because of who her dad is, and she would win championships and lose championships. And then, yes, she comes back after a year off and she wins the Royal Rumble. Now, actually, that's a very standard story for a lot of pro wrestlers. So it doesn't surprise me that WWE tried this again with Charlotte. The issue being, and it's all rumors and speculation, so we don't know, but apparently the plan was to make her a babyface, and that to me is WWE sort of having the wool pulled over their eyes a little bit. Charlotte's just better as a heel. In fact, I think when she leans right into that, she's one of the best heels in the company. So when you are expecting someone to be cheered and they're not cheered, and you have to rewrite the story, and maybe there are some sort of hurt personal feelings too, it does become quite difficult. But I would say the internet is a bubble, right? You have to remember that we are talking about the super duper whooper nerd fans, which I am very proud to be a part of. I don't really know how the wider audience would respond to this, apart from the fact that she's meant to be a villain and therefore we boo her. But certainly within the more hardcore passionate circle, yes, a lot of people think that Charlotte Flair winning would be the worst. And I all actually think it depends on what we do with Tiffany Stratton on the other side of WrestleMania. If there is a long-term plan and we stick to it, it could be for the best. But when I started to make this video, that was the number one thing. People do not want to see Charlotte Flair win. And I kind of think these people may be disappointed. And another one that I think divides the audience, especially, again, the people that I'm talking to right now, is Gunther versus Jey Uso. I'm telling you right now, I think Gunther winning would be the worst possible outcome, because you cannot take Jey Uso all of this way and then not see how he adapts to being a main event player, which, of course, is his nickname. Now, that is not me saying you have to like Jey Uso or you have to enjoy his pro wrestling. And if you want to call him, oh, he's just a catchphrase, even though lots of people in the past have become super duper megastars just using a catchphrase, that's cool. I'm not trying to steal away your opinions. I'm not trying to steal away your thoughts. I just think it's such a waste of time and such a waste of energy to put all this investment into Jey Uso, not only from the Royal Rumble, but everything we were doing before that, and not see it through. And you can't lose if you're a hater of this. If we give the belt to Jey, and I don't want to say he drops the ball because that's an unfair terminology, but it just doesn't click, right? And for whatever reason, it doesn't translate on TV. You can go on social media and go, I told you so. And I know that's your favorite thing to you because you get in my comments and tell me all the time, which I appreciate. Please keep engaging. That's what this game is all about. But it'd be a huge question mark, right? Talk about having regrets in your life. I'm going to be a 78-year-old man going, well, no, I never know if Jey Uso would have been a good world champion. I need to see it in live and in color. I need to see it happen. I need to see how it all plays out. SummerSlam ain't that far away. It's like 4 months away. Is that right? May, June, July, August. 4 months away. He can be a 4 months champion. There's an upside to that because I do think at the moment too many people in WWE holding championships for way too long, and somebody is going to have to be sort of the scapegoat to all of this. But I also think it's going to work out. I don't want to play the guessing game. I don't want to do guesswork. Like, this is a ridiculous analogy or a ridiculous comparison. But back in the early to mid 90s, I can't remember, 94 was it? I don't remember. But we should have just coronated Lex Luger. If Vince McMahon was so desperate to do it, just do it. But it didn't. Now, actually, the end result of that was awesome because Bret Hart got the nod, and he's my favorite wrestler of all time. But when you go back and watch the content there, and actually also tie it into the awful, are we or are we not going to crown Roman Reigns? It's like Vince McMahon didn't learn his lesson. If you have picked somebody and you're going to double down on it and you're going to ignore the crowd reaction, which was the case in both of these, then unless you are going to pivot, which they do not do until the last minute, which is why it becomes laborious, put it on Luger, put it on Roman Reigns, and then just let it play out. Now, Jey Uso is not in that category because you see it in the buildings, right? You see the live reaction to him. People love this guy, and I love this guy, but don't fall back into old patterns where it didn't work before. Let's give him the belt. Let's see him run with it, and then we can all make our minds up in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months' time. And I also think Gunther not having the belt does free him up to go have some programs, maybe with a Goldberg. And you may not like that, but Triple H ain't going to let Goldberg beat Gunther. So Gunther retiring Bill Goldberg, who is a legend of pro wrestling, that's awesome, right? That is only going to add to Gunther's legacy. I bet you there is a laundry list of wrestlers like, well, I'd like to retire Goldberg, because you're always going to have that on the CV. And I suppose you can say that if the title is still in play and Gunther is going to win, what difference does it make? You want to create jeopardy. And if Gunther isn't the champion, it's just going to make people go, oh my gosh, maybe Goldberg is going to win. But also, you do not want Goldberg going after the world title, because people are going to throw their toys out the pram there. So I do, once again, think it opens the door for Gunther to have a little bit more freedom with his opponents, and he'll probably be the champion again within 12 months. Gunther is brilliant, and Jey Uso, I mean, who would he even feud with? That's what I get excited about. I can't even think who his first opponent after Gunther would be. Maybe Seth Rollins goes heel, and he goes after the world championship. Jey Uso versus Seth Rollins is such a mad match. I'm down for it. Do you know how much wrestling I get to watch? I'm very privileged and I'm very blessed, but gosh damn it, I need new stuff. And talking about Seth Rollins, he is in a match with CM Punk and Roman Reigns. And look, I love Roman Reigns. I will throw my finger up the air whenever I see him do come into the ring. But I actually think the worst possible outcome would be him winning. And that is not a slight on him whatsoever. I just think, I think CM Punk winning is the best one, because I think he should go after John Cena, who should also win the World Championship. But if Seth Rollins wins, all of a sudden you have created this sort of landscape where we've injected that character with a bit of oomph. And if he is going to be the guy to go and feud with Jey Uso, he's probably going to turn heel. I think he's going to turn heel anyway. Doesn't necessarily have to do anything with Paul Heyman, although you could do that. Again, he gets something from that. Punk definitely gets something from that. But Roman, I actually think, benefits more from losing. I think that ties into his character. If Paul Heyman is going to lose him, well, that's like a loose end he's now going to have to tie up. And I feel like for the first time in 5 years, he'd be a little bit exposed, because my take on the Roman Reigns character is super duper whooper confident in the ring, but in terms of his own personal demons, that's where he's self-insecure, I should say. And Paul Heyman has always helped him with that. So if he just wins here, I mean, it probably could lead to John Cena versus Roman Reigns. So we did see that not that long ago. Whereas Punk versus Cena, especially bad guy Cena versus good guy Punk, especially the promo that Punk cut after John Cena did go heel, and of course back in 2011 and 2013, those roles were reversed. I think it would be leaving a lot of money on the table, and I think Cena with that championship just opens up the doors, especially because if Cena doesn't win the title, every match that Cena has is probably going to be the main event, because it's John Cena's retirement tour, and the belt is going to be like match 4. Let's not do that. I don't think that's a good idea at all. So that's why I think CM Punk or Seth Rollins have major upside here, because they can just spin off into championships, whereas Roman Reigns losing makes you go, what are you going to do now, Roman? And is he going to disappear again for months? And I don't mind Joe Anoa'i, the real-life person, doing that. If he's earned that right, good for him. It really does make me raise an eyebrow, and it makes me super intrigued about what we could do with the Roman Reigns character. And again, it's not always about wins and losses. Or I suppose it is. But in this case, him losing just opens up so much more creativity. And I think that's what the Roman Reigns character needs now. Like, even after turning babyface, he's essentially the same guy, which I don't mind. Like, Naomi, for example, went heel, and she just became Thanos, which was also brilliant. But Roman's got a different path, but now I'd add a bit of nuance, I'd just differentiate it a little bit, and he can't do that if he wins, because he won. Be like, why would I bother changing? So don't let Roman Reigns win, is what I'm saying. Roman Reigns has won enough. I believe this is his 10th WrestleMania main event, so the guy's goated, the guy's all time, the guy's a legend. That title run he went on was awesome. I really enjoyed it, but he doesn't, I know he lost last year, but that should be part of the story. That's 2 years back-to-back Roman has lost. You could have so much fun with that, which is why him winning would suck. Not suck, I've exaggerated. And actually, I'm going to throw Cody Rhodes into this as well. Now, I love Cody Rhodes. He's my favourite babyface for a good old time. Probably the last 20 years. I'm so into everything that he has done. But John Cena needs to win that championship. We kind of spoke about this a lot on Monday, so I don't want to go over old ground. But if wrestling is about being interesting and wrestling is about keeping you on the edge of your seat, of course Cody could win, and it would be awesome. And he vanquished John Cena, which would be awesome. But who does he actually fight coming out of this? It could be CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes for sure. But as these two guys are going to be around for a while, I mean, I understand we're tempting fate with injuries and you never know what's going to happen or what's around the corner. But I do think you could spread that out. Like, twofold, really. John Cena turning heel means he has to win the belt, otherwise what are we doing? The biggest heel turn ever, arguably, and we don't follow up on it. But Cody is in a Roman Reigns position. If he has that belt belt taken away from him because he gets screwed over by Cena, because he gets screwed over by The Rock, and he needs to find a way to get it back. I actually think it makes his character arc more interesting. It does tie into what Stone Cold Steve Austin used to do a lot. Go and check it out. He would win and lose that belt because everybody enjoyed the rattlesnake in the chase. There are some naysayers, now I don't agree with any of these naysayers, who don't think Cody Rhodes' reign has been very good. I don't understand that. I don't see where it comes from. Once again, I respect your opinion. So I actually think you could reset a little bit here. And of course, he'll be the champion again before the end of the year, or come the end of the year, or at least early in 2026. I believe, well, I suppose he could not win it back to WrestleMania 42. The point is, he's going to get it back at some stage. He's not going to be a one and done champion. I just think we have opened up the door, maybe accidentally here, to someone he can lose it to, because it's John Cena, again, one of the best of all time. It goes back to what I want wrestling to be, which is always interesting and always making me go, wow, we did that, I can't believe it. And if Cody Rhodes wins, I kind of think like you pop John Cena's balloon a little bit, and there is no one really Cody can feud with right now, unless Randy Orton goes heel. But again, you can save that off for later after he's won it back. So yeah, I can't believe I'm saying it, and deep down on my own personal level, I would love Cody Rhodes to win. But oh man, Cody, you can beat anyone. But when I put my nerd hat on, it's just better he loses. Logan Paul is an obvious one. I just don't want him to beat AJ Styles. It's as simple as that. Once again, I'm being a massive geek, not saying I mind Logan Paul in wrestling, not saying he's very talented. He's all of those things, but I'm going to steal what I said a couple of days ago. Did Roman Reigns beat Logan Paul? Yes, he did. Did Seth Rollins beat him? Yes, he did. Did Cody Rhodes beat him? Yes, he did. Now, I understand that AJ Styles may not be at their level in terms of with the current hierarchy, but he's still flipping AJ Styles. And you could argue without AJ Styles, we don't get a Cody Rhodes. We don't get a Seth Rollins, because that's how inspirational and how inspiring he was. So that was just the worst outcome for me. I can't be watching WrestleMania, and have Logan Paul beat AJ Styles. It's a nice and simple one, move on. I also think Bayley and Lyra Valkyria winning the tag titles would be atrocious. That's right, I used that word. Only because they're a thrown together tag team. They clearly have animosity, or at least teased animosity. They were fighting all of a week ago. And Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are a designated duo, right? They won those championships because they do have good teamwork. And it's just a bugbear of mine. I do believe if you have a thrown together tag team and you have a proper tag team, the proper tag team should win, especially because they're heels and they can cheat. And look, you can go into the IC title feud between Bayley and Lyra, with Bayley as a heel and Lyra Valkyria as a face. It is mystifying that WWE didn't pull the trigger on this sooner so we could do it at WrestleMania, but I'm done complaining about it. I've done my complaining. Look how much hair I lost doing it. But I think it would be doing a disservice to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez to not have them win. All WWE needs to do is make sure there's challenges coming out the other side, and we can do a wonderful thing with it. But I think that would be a mistake. I think it would be a bad idea. There's potential here we haven't capitalized on, especially because if Alexa Bliss is going to come back soon, and she is going to be in the White Six, we should have an elongated program between Raquel and Liv, Alexa and Nikki Cross, right? If she's going to rejoin that group, Nikki Cross needs to do something. Nikki Cross is great. Alexa Bliss is super duper mega over. I need that program. Please make it happen in the end. And if Randy Orton loses, whoever the hell he does take on, that would be a huge error too. I do presume he was going to beat Kevin Owens, but Randy Orton has lost too much on television, which has been a good thing. Like losing to Gunther, losing to whoever the flub else he lost to. But now it's time for Randy Orton to go on a little bit of a run before he does turn heel and goes after Cody Rhodes. And even if it's Randy Orton versus Nick Aldis, I would love Nick Aldis to get a win at WrestleMania, but you don't need to do it. I'm a huge Solo Sikoa fan, but he doesn't need to beat Randy Orton either. And these seem to be the two front-running contenders right now. So yeah, Randy losing, I just think would be, once again, it'd be like popping your balloon. Everyone's excited to see him. He has entered that legendary status. And given that he did lose his match with Kevin Owens, which was disappointing, but more importantly, I just hope Kevin Owens is okay. Way more important than anything we can do in wrestling. But I do think a lot of people will be like, oh man. And that's not the feeling we're going for, given it is going to be a last-minute late addition to the card, because yeah, we're not going to be able to do KO versus Randy. And that's the kind of sadness you don't need at WrestleMania. Like Roman Reigns winning at WrestleMania 39 caused riots. People were emotionally connected to it. This one, I just think, it'd be like having a party and someone stepping on your cake. You'd be like, well, at least I'm still at a party, but now I can't eat that sugary goodness. And the awesome thing about that is there wasn't that many people there, because when we just do go through the rest of the card, both options would be pretty good. Jacob Fatu or LA Knight, I could live with both of them. Naomi or Jade Cargill, I could live with both of them. The Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley stuff, I could live with all of them. War Raiders versus the New Day, again, it doesn't really matter, but that's more to do with the build and not them, but you get what I'm saying. And the Intercontinental title four-way. If Bron Breakker retained, awesome. If Dominic won, I'll do a backflip. If Finn Balor won, finally. If Penta won, well, he's been on a great tear recently, so I can't get mad at that. And even with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, like I would push for Drew McIntyre to win, just given what's happened over the last few months, but it's Damian Priest, and Damian Priest had a wonderful 2000 2024, and he's had an awesome 2025. People just seem to have forgotten, and I don't understand why. But if he did win, I'd be like, wow, that's amazing. I know that the Drew McIntyre fans, as you should be, would be rightfully pissed off, but I don't think it would actually affect Drew McIntyre that much because he's Drew McIntyre. So when you go through the entire card, I know the build has been a little bit like, not 100% sure. I do like the fact that we have built-in matches that you can go left or you can go right, and the opportunities and the potentials are still there. Again, we go back to WrestleMania 32, is that right? Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Everybody just wanted Brock Lesnar to lose and Roman Reigns to win, and we didn't do it. I was like, oh my gosh. And of course, we had done that at WrestleMania 31 as well. I think I'm getting confused here, but you take my point, right? Seth Rollins cashed in because the hierarchy went, I don't know if we should crown Roman Reigns right now, then why are you pushing him so much? I mean, that's a whole different video for a different day, but that's what I really do appreciate what we have done this time. Some matches, you really feel passionate about it, and others ones we can just sit back and enjoy the show. So ultimately, I think it's going to be a pretty good weekend. I think WrestleMania 41 will not hit the heights that other WrestleManias have hit, but I think by the end of the day, when those end credit roll, we can give it a massive tick, which is not a euphemism. Now, of course, please do interact with the video as much as possible. Like the video, share the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment below. Do all of those things and click the video on the screen, which are my official WrestleMania 41 predictions. And good grief, did we go in depth there, because I am a massive nerd. Otherwise, if you're into fitness and supplements, please go to grillermind.com/Simon. You get time to get money off and it ships worldwide. Otherwise, patreon.com/Simon316, Simon316 on all social media. Simon J. Miller on TikTok, Simon Miller on Cameo if you like a personalized videos for WrestleMania, why the flub not. And Big Cartel and Pro Wrestling Tees for merchandise if you want to walk around with one of my dumb logos on your chest, which of course you do. Why wouldn't you? But we are a few days away from WrestleMania. If you go into Vegas and you see me, please do come say hello. But otherwise, just have a lovely old time, my friends. And this bald a-hole will see you soon.